We are live, guys. Welcome back to another live stream here on the Co-op Pussy channel. Today, we are going to hang out and have a good time. I forgot to share this earlier, so I'm going to share it right now. I have a tendency to do that because I do this for fun, and that's probably the best way to put it. There we go. So if I want to become a professional at this, I would be taking a completely different structure on this. I know I said I'm going to take YouTube a lot more seriously, like I am. However, I feel that I should still make it fun for myself. All right. Without further ado, let's get some whiskey poured because we're a whiskey channel, so might as well get started. A lot better cork pop than before. Also, I think they got a little more aerated. Is it literally? I do like the heft of this bottle. Like, this bottle weighs some weight. Wow, that's the second time it's done that. Actually, here, got something. So I want to compare the weight of 18 years. Because I just all of a sudden I picked it up because I was moving bottles. That's heavy. Let me find a Jack Daniels bottle that is kind of, or it doesn't really have to be a Jack Daniels bottle. Like it could be any other Jack Daniels. That one's heavy too. That one's lighter. All right. So this is this is sealed. Yeah, no, this is sealed. All right. So let's compare the weight. Actually, yeah, no, this is super heavier. Like there's a huge base on this, and this is like their standard glass. Yeah, no, big weight difference here. All right, so let me put this back before I forget. All right, looking nice. I reorganized some bottles today, so it is kind of a mess. Actually, it's not a mess anymore. It's a little bit better. Fix that here. There we go. But yes, got Jack Daniels 18. I'm surprised I did. I thought I had this open for. I thought I had it open for a lot longer before. Smokes actually a little bit more than I remember. But yeah, no, I've had this bottle for probably like a year and a half, 2 years almost. Like, I think I've had this before I built this room, which has almost been 2 years now. Yeah, no, I think, about 2 years. Like, I've had this bottle. I have a lot of bottles in here that I haven't gotten to. Best way to put it. Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff I need to open. Yeah, no, I need to do the count and keep like a tally on based on what's open, what's closed, what needs to be opened, what do I need to try, what I need to record videos of, what hasn't been videos of. Like there's stuff like I don't plan to open like anytime soon. Like I got some Redbreast cash strength stuff. That is the 12-year cash strength that I have. Like I got 21, 20, 19, 18, and 17, I think 16 or something like that. Or no, 15, I think. Well, I'm skipping like 1 year, I think. I can't remember where it's at. But I don't plan to open those. Like I've got to try them. I've had them before. However, if you don't understand what I have done with my collection is I buy multiples. Like I haven't bought multiples of the Redbreast, which I honestly should. But what I plan to do is be able to open up like a bottle from 2020 or 2019 or 2018 and 2048 or something like that. 20 years down the road. Imagine 2048. I crack open a bottle from 2018. Like, wow. I think that's cool. Personally. Like I got Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs releases that I have all my shelves. I feel the coolest thing ever is be able to drink what I have now, have another 2 bottles or a bottle in the other room sitting there that I can pull out in 20 years from now. I don't know where I would at be in my financial status or if I still be in whiskey or not. I sure hope I am. But the plan is to be able to pull from that collection and be like, hey, hang out with the whiskey buddies, still doing my whole thing, but being like, hey, man, have you had, or when was the last time you had that C918 or C920 or C9 or whatever batch it is? Like, okay, let's just pick the date is 2024 or 2048. Okay, the date is 2048. Imagine you're drinking whiskey with your buddies, and one of the guy pulls out, it's like, hey, when was the last time you had Elijah Craig Barrel Proof so and so? Like, what should say it's 2048, and someone pulls out a C918, which I like. A lot of the C batches have been my favorite, but just imagine it's 2048, and a guy pulls out a bottle, brand new, hasn't been cracked, a C918. It's 2048, 20 years. That's about 18. Well, actually, no, that's like 16 now. 16 years from now, pulls out that bottle, cracks it open. When do you think was the last time that someone had a cork pop of that bottle? Just think about that. That's why I want to be able to do with my collection. And also, I love Elijah Craig. So, but just imagine, it's like, oh, it's like, what was your favorite year? Like, I literally have a painting up here of my favorite, which is right up there. But beautiful. Actually, here, I need to turn my light on for that. I like looking at that. Gotta get my talker. Turn on TV light. Because it has like a nice hue. Actually, here, I gotta turn it higher. Turn TV light to 100% brightness. There we go. All right. But yeah, no, actually, here, I gotta show you. This is how much I love Elijah Craig. I literally commissioned a piece of artwork of my my favorite bottling right there, and that's my TV and everything. And then all my Elijah Craig's, not actually about half of my store picks. So there we go. But yeah, no, that's a picture of C920, my all-time favorite, a batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof right now. Like a modern. Yes, I love the hazmat. I do have the hazmat up there. It's that one. Actually, no. It's right here. Those are front label and back labels of the normal small batch. And then that one right there is a hazmat 2013 and then 2012, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. I may be 100% wrong. But I do have those ones. But imagine being able to pull out your favorite bottle of Elijah Craig in 20, 40 years. Like, I have like 5 bottles of C920. That's how much I love it. But the date is 2040. 20 years after it came out. All right. Now it's 2060. And I'm like, oh, you're sitting down there with buddies and everything. You're like, hey, I'm going to pull out this bottle of Elijah Craig C920. It's my favorite bottle right here. It may end up not being my favorite bottle. There may be a new batch that comes out that I'll be like, oh my God, this is the best batch of Elijah Craig. But no, I'll be like, hey, man, this was my favorite batch back in the day, man. Like, who can say, hey, I have a bottle that I'm holding on to that I could open up in 2040, 2050, 2060, 2080 or whatever. Maybe a bottle I can pass down that I can have at my funeral or something like that. Well, I won't be able to enjoy it, but I want other people to enjoy it. But just imagine. Someone pulls out that bottle and is like, yeah, got to try Elijah Craig C920 in 2060. Man, I'm just assuming that America's going to make it to 2060, though. That's another topic, but I sure hope my collection makes it. All right, so what's up, Dork? I'm just here rambling because sup, cool running. All right, good evening, Steve. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you kind of get what I'm trying to go with. That's what I want to do with my collection. I want to have this library of bottles. Like, I want to do the whiskey. So, all right. So, personally, I love what the Whiskey Tribe and the Whiskey Vault, what they do with their collection. They wanna have so their whole point of their collection is to be able to have a library that allows access to their Psalms. So this is the whole reason why the Whiskey Vault, it's not for content at all. It was never created for content. It was originally created for a library and resource for their Psalms, people that gone through the program, to go in and try the whiskey so they can study. That's what the vault's for. I want to have that same thing. However, I want to have a resource for me and to share for all these people that are part of my community and like my friends and all that. Like where I can say, hey, Marshall, I'll fly you out to California and we're gonna drink some whiskey, bud. That's what I want to do. Like in 2040 or whatever, I want to fly people out, hang out, and have this amazing collection for people to try. Like, yeah, I'm still building my collection. Like, it is nowhere near completion. Like, I plan on having 10,000 bottles. Like, that's 10,000 different bottles. So I'm talking probably having 15, 20,000, maybe 30,000 bottles total in the collection. That's what I'm looking for. I want to have I want to have like a library of whiskey, like where I can say, hey, man, I'm hoping one day that I can get this to a point where I can say, hey, man, I want to like I don't like last thing I want to do. I don't want to open. I don't want to have a bar. I don't want to have like something where people can come in and pay for pours. No, I want someone to come in and say, hey, I want to have a whiskey experience. I want to try some stuff that I probably haven't seen before and explore and find out what I want and do little pours and explore and get these little tastings of certain stuff. And then have access to like, hey, man, I got 40-year-old whiskey that is not 40 years old in barrel age, even though I have one of those. But um have a bottle that's like haven't been opened, like probably hasn't been opened in probably 15, 20 years. Like how many batch C920 Elijah Craig's have been opened in probably the last couple years? Probably very little. A lot of them they either been cracked open now or they're being held on to. Like the ones that have been opened are probably going to open. The other ones are going to be safe for some other reason, like mine. But yeah, I'm hoping to have fun with you with YouTube and the collecting and the land a job as a brand rep or distiller. Ah, yeah. Um, what I plan if I ever do anything with whiskey is maybe open up my own distillery or open up some type of. I want to open my own whiskey vault, but it'll be called the library or something like that. Like honestly, so just people that don't know that don't live in California, there's a place called the library. It's a strip club. So when you tell your wife asks you where are you going, oh, I'm going to the library. No, you're going to the strip club. So there's some local. I don't know if they're more branched out or anyone else uses that name, but here in California they call it the library. And I would love to not have a bar. Like I wouldn't want. It's not so someone's going to come down and drink some whiskey. It's for someone I want access for people. Like maybe like a membership where they can come in and try things. And it's not going to be. You're not going to get like a half ounce pour. Like you're going to get like an eighth of an ounce. You can explore it, find out flavors, and I want people to like that's. Like it's not like because all right. My biggest gripe. I had people come into my room and said, "Hey, what do you want to pour of?" And what should say? All right, they had that Mitcher's 10-year rye right there, single barrel rye. All right, crack that. I cracked the thing open for a guy. I handed him the bottle. He poured like 2 ounces out of the thing. Just cracked the bottle. He poured himself 2 ounces. It's coming along, bud. No, he poured 2 ounces of this thing. Okay. And I literally looked at him like, dude, how much do you plan on drinking tonight? I actually asked him, like, dude, like you just poured, he literally poured like up to here with Mitcher's 10-year rye. And I'm like, dude, like, this is literally the first pour of the bottle. Like, I literally just cracked this open for being gracious guy. Hey, he was the first one to show up for my whiskey bottle share at my house. Cracks it open, pours 2 ounces. I probably was a little more than 2 ounces. Like, it was literally, like, up to, like, here. And I'm like, dude, like he has kind of money and everything, but I'm like, dude, that is not giving a taste of whiskey. That is you taking advantage and just pouring, and like you're planning on getting messed up tonight. That's my opinion. I prefer to pour a tiny bit of whiskey and try everything and explore it and find what I like. It's coming on, bud. But yeah, that really hit me because I'm like, dude, like you go to the Quinta party. If you ever been to the Whiskey Tribe, the Quinta party during the Bastard Ball, which is happening next month, beginning next month in about 2 or 3 weeks. That's happening. So, all right. I feel like if you pour a bit, like let's say you got some very cool fancy bottle, and you pour like you're an a-hole to do that. I'm sorry. I get mad at people that do that because what I feel like, hey, someone brings out this really cool bottle that no one gets to try. All right, so let's just say someone wants to be super gracious. Okay, they want to bring out something really cool and let people try. Let's just say they put out a Hakushu 18 or a Yamazaki 18. This bottle, let's just say people are going up to this bottle. It's literally no one's watching it, no one's handling it, and literally people are going around and pouring this much into the glass and they're drinking it. You know how you could have poured that same amount into 10 glasses and allowed everyone to share and to try this whiskey. Now, this is just me ranting and getting mad at people that kind of do that because I've had it happen a few times where the person came over to my house. I personally now pour stuff for people. However, there's some people I do let pour. Like not really. Like when I do have someone come over, I typically grab a new glass and say, "Here's a little bit. Try this." That's what I like to do. But like every once in a while, I say, "Hey," like some people will come in here and they'll pour, and I'm like, "Dude, like you." It irks me. I'm like, dude, like I don't like I never poured a pour my I probably the whole bottle I've never poured that in total. And you just poured yourself like 2 full ounces or more. And I see that happen at the Quinta party where people go there and they pour these giant pours. And I feel like everyone should just pour a little tiny bit so they can try a lot of things and also preserve it so other people can try it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I want to hear your guys' opinion on that. Yes, I understand if you want to enjoy a pour, you just want to pour one big pour and you just sit down and enjoy it for the rest of the night, or maybe another one. Completely agree with that. However, imagine you got invited to come over to see my collection. I have all this whiskey, and then you go and pour 2 ounces of whiskey. I'm sitting here pouring like a quarter, maybe an eighth of an ounce, if that. Like right now, I have probably just under a half ounce, I think, or maybe I don't know. I don't even know what that is, but this is pretty heavy pour for me. But like if you were to meet my shoes, how would you feel if someone came over and I had my Yamazaki or I had my Redbreast 27 up here? All right, imagine that. That's that's actually like an $800-900 bottle now. Imagine someone comes over and says, "Yeah, man, I always wanted to try it." It'll they pour 2 ounces or they pour it up to here. I'm like, dude, like I understand like you want to enjoy it. Like, hey man, if that's man, this is amazing. I want to keep drinking this. Go right ahead. No, I want to see people pour a little bit, enjoy it. That's it. That's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys understand. I understand if you're at home and you want to enjoy your whiskey, go ahead. Pour that. Enjoy it. However, if you do come over to somewhere else or you got like some bottle share, I see it happen all the time where people go and they pour these big giant pours, and I'm just like, dude, that's enough to share for like 8 people here. And there's 30, 40 bottles there. And I sure hope you're not going to plan on doing that with every single bottle. However, I do hate the people that do show up. This is my last one. They show up to the bottle shares and they bring sample bottles. They bring like 1 or 2 ounce sample bottles, and they fill those things up to the brim, and then they pour themselves some. I understand if you want to have it in your collection where you can sit down and have it by itself and dissect it. Completely agree. However, if you're at a bottle share, and someone pulls out something really cool and you do that to it, you're an a-hole. That's my 2 cents. All right. As a host, if I'm offering whatever they want, I will let them choose, but nothing wrong with pouring for them. You are the host. Pour a bit for yourself as well. Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just going by someone that you're planning on drinking a ton of whiskey that night. And you're going to have, there's going to be so I had actually probably about 10 months ago, last October, I had a bottle share. That was the last time I had one. It was just the day before, a couple days before Halloween last year. There's like eight of us here. We probably had 30-ish bottles that were downstairs that weren't part of my collection. I brought like 2 or 3 down for people. However, when people first showed up, before they got food or anything, I brought them up here and said, "Hey, what do you want to pour?" I had someone choose the Mitcher's 10 Rye. Having opened it up, they said, "Oh man, I never had that before." I'm like, "Let's change that today, bud." So I crack it open, pull the wax off, hand the bottle to him. He pours a 2 ounce pour. And I just cracked this thing open, and he's literally pouring up to here. And I'm like, dude, like, all right. So he poured this big pour, and I'm just like, oh my, like, what are you planning to do tonight, man? Because if you keep doing this, that you're not be able to walk out this door. I need to prepare a bed for you in the other room. Like, well, I have a bed prepared, but you're gonna be sleeping here. He poured this big pour, and I'm like, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. I don't know, but I'm a very different person. I understand if you want to sit down and have one whiskey and you're gonna pour it, and you know you like it and everything, pour the big giant pour. But I just see people go to bottle shares, like all these events like that, and they pour these big giant pours, and I'm like, dude, like, what do you plan on doing? And then they go pour sample bottles and stuff like that, and then taking home probably probably 11 sample bottles or more, or probably like 20 sample bottles. Like, I'd seen people bring like carriers and they carry their sample bottles, and I'm like, dude, like, really? I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I understand if they really enjoy it. We'll just say I pull up a bottle of Pappy, crack it open, I'll give them a pour. Like, are you pouring 1.5 ounces from those? No, I personally don't. If you want to celebrate and you want to have a good time, yeah. But I'm more like, hey, let's pour like a 1/2 ounce at most, and then drink some other stuff. Kind of jump around, explore. That's just me. Like, hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to say, and not think I'm the jerk for getting mad at someone for pouring 2 ounces. If you're that guy that's hold on. Were you upset that he overdid it that much so early, or he took advantage of your generosity? I think he just took advantage of my generosity. That's what I feel. I was like, dude, I cracked this open, and I'm like, I understand, like, if you want to have a pour to enjoy, but I may drink a little different. Like, hey, I can sip on this for an hour and be perfectly fine. That's the rate I go. But he literally poured this, and he downed it pretty quick. Like, to be honest, like, he probably finished in like 45 minutes or so. But there was a lot of like bottles downstairs that are like literally killer bottles, like that people go crazy over downstairs. Like a lot of like a lot of like stuff that people are paying secondaries for, like thousands of dollars. Like really, really like picks and like special releases that no one's seen before. I feel like he took advantage, and I don't like that. If I was invited to yours and you said I can try as many as I want. Yes, I would pour a small handful, maybe half an ounce or less, so that I can try as many at least a night. Yeah, no, I agree. Like no more than like a half ounce, which I agree. If you want to pour up to the brim right here, which I think I don't know what that it comes out to, but I feel he came up, he literally poured all the way up to here, and I'm just like, really irked me. And then let's just say, so the La Quinta party, where the Whiskey Tribe and Whiskey Vault does their after party. That's where the after party happens. Let's just say someone brings a super rare bottle. Let's just say someone brings Pappy. Okay, there is. Let's just say there's 200-300 people there. All right. There's just one bottle. There's a bottle of Pappy here. All right, all right. There's Pappy right here, not open yet. Well, there's Lot B, then Old Rip 10. Okay, you can call it Pappy. Some people call, oh, that's Old Rip. That's not Pappy Van Winkle. It's Old Rip Van Winkle. Okay, my bad. But we'll just say if I want to be super generous, I want to bring that bottle to the Quinta party. There's 200-300 people there. A lot of people would just be like, you know what? Enjoy, guys. And someone comes up to the bottle, pulls out the cork, pours them 2 ounces of Pappy. How would you guys feel? I want to hear that response right there. How would you feel if someone wants to be super generous? They bring a bottle of Pappy, and someone walks up to it just after it got opened, and they pour them like a solid 2 ounce or more pour of Pappy Van Winkle. Any of them, like just any of them, or someone brings BTAC or something like very generous that sorry, I turned my AC off. It just turned on. How would you guys feel if you brought that bottle to what 200-300 people to share, to enjoy? How would you feel if someone walked up and literally poured 2 ounces of something that probably like 20-30 people in that whole entire room out of the 200-300 people had tried? And there's this 180-280 people that have not tried that. When you could really pour, yeah, I know you can't, it's kind of hard to share between 200 or 300 people, but if everyone poured like a quarter of an ounce, I think that's probably the better move. And hopefully you guys agree with me, because I had like 20 people here. Like if someone walked in and I cracked open that Mitcher's 10-year rye and everyone poured like a big pour and it killed the bottle, honestly, I don't mind. If we sat there and enjoyed it and everything, like, don't care. However, I feel if someone walked in and they just poured a big 2 ounce pour. But if I had like 20 people over and I gave everyone a pour, and if I killed the bottle, cool, like whatever. I just cracked the thing open. However, someone did have like a couple $100 bottle, and they have access to pour as much as they want, and they go walk in there, pour 2 full ounces, and then after they pour that, they pour out a sample bottle and they fill up a sample bottle. How do you guys feel about that? That's my rant. I want to move on from this. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. The right thing to do is to tell them so that they understand this is not fair to others. Do not tell them it is a mistake, in my opinion. It is okay to mention proper behavior. Agree. I did say, man, I'm like, dude, like, when the guy poured 2 ounces, I'm like, dude, like, how much you planning on drinking tonight? And like, you're starting pretty heavy. And it's like, oh man, never had this. And I'm like, dude, there's more there, but I drink a little differently than everyone else. I completely understand that people want to really enjoy something, but I personally, I'm the guy that wants to pour a little tiny bit and explore and try everything that I have access to. Just me. Some people just don't have the same, like, they may not have any malice or like any reason for doing it. They just want to enjoy the whiskey, and that's what they pour. I do understand in this industry, in this group of friends, there are people that do have problems. They drink till they can't walk down the hallway, get back to the room. I've seen that. Sorry, just click that with my arm. And I understand that. However, sometimes, most of the time, I feel like they know what they're doing. And they pull out their sample bottles and they pour another ounce into their sample bottle and they write on it and put it in their pocket and they see it for another time, or they may sell it on the secondary sample market. They can get 20, 30, 40 bucks for some stuff. That's where I'm at. I'll be more direct then. How much are you putting to drink? Share directly your best practices with them. Yeah. No, I that's why I kind of start pouring for people now, where I'm like, hey man, like I don't care if I pour you 50 ounces of whiskey out of my collection that night, but I'll rather pour you 40 or 50 different bottles of whiskey and not 5 and get to that, or whatever. If you plan on drinking 10 ounces of whiskey that night, man, I'd rather pour you 20 different whiskeys for you to try and explore versus pouring like 3 and reaching to that mark, because I've seen people do it and I understand drinking can be an issue. However, I feel if someone's being very generous, I feel like you should be like, hey, pour a little tiny bit. Or if you just want to have a proper pour up to the bulge, like where it just kind of, it cresses, it apexes. 100% agree with that. However, if I just cracked open a bottle for you and you pour, but yeah, I want the tall glass of water on the screen. Sir, this is Johnny Walker. This is water. But hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully you're not that guy. Because if I invite you for a bottle share and you do like get to pour some stuff, I don't care how much you pour, but just if you plan on drinking a bunch of stuff, and you better not pull out a sample bottle or sample bottles and pour some and then take them home and drink them or sell them or pour like a giant 2-ounce pour. I just hope you guys don't do that to people. I'm sorry. But if you only plan on having one pour that night, go right ahead. But some people come over and they're chugging down some stuff. Trust me, bud. I'll give you a handy. That sounds so wrong. P-TAC, you know. Like, dude, like I will pour you every single rye I have in my collection. Like, that's how generous I am. I would literally pour every bottle of rye I have in my collection that you haven't had. Okay, Marshall, that's complete honesty. If someone come over and they told me, hey, I like rye, or I'm new to rye and I want to try some rye. I'm like, dude, I got some rye back here. Let me pour some out for you. Like, I will give them the whole rundown of everything I got. I'll if I haven't cracked it open and they're a big rye guy and they're like, man, I never had that. Dude, we're cracking this open today and we're gonna enjoy it. That's the kind of guy I am. But hopefully you guys understand. Then when I know that I'm starting to fade with all the samples, I'll just ask for a pour of the one I liked and the best, and I'll say, so you pour it, you would know how much pour, judging by my night at yours. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, no, I completely get that. Like, if you want to really enjoy a pour, go ahead. You can pour the 1.5 ounces. However, I personally feel like, hey, you should pour like a quarter ounce. That's my philosophy. That's kind of, I'm more the guy that say, hey, if I see 30 bottles of whiskey on here, better let you know I'm going to try all 30 of them. And I'm going to pour a little bit so I can. And that's just me. Hopefully you guys understand that. And yeah. But yeah, no, I'm a very different person than a lot of people in the community, the community of whiskey. definitely different than a lot of people here. Because I like trying and exploring things. Some people like to pour one big giant pour of one thing and sit there and enjoy it all night. Or they go to a party and they pour a giant couple pours of a bunch of stuff and bring sample bottles and take advantage of people about their great generosity. Or they like someone pull that Stag Junior and they pour 2 ounces of it. I'm like, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys get that. Like, I don't want to be like that jerk off that's kind of bashing on people for doing that. Totally not where I'm trying to go with this. I kind of ranted on that for about 30 minutes now. Because I've seen people be super generous, bring in Pappy or B-Tax or Stags, some crazy scotches, very hygienic. Like, there's like 30-year-old scotches, and just plop them on the table and say, everyone enjoy. And they go and they pour 2 ounces. I just feel, and there's all these people in the room. Like, if I brought a bottle out to the Quinta, I don't plan on bringing that bottle home. I plan on letting other people enjoy that. My 2 cents. But yeah. All right, bringing empty sample bottles to fill would be in poor taste unless you understood that all attending are doing the same and that is part of the purpose. Yeah, no, it's definitely not part of the purpose. When you bring a bottle share, it's just to share and enjoy and hang out with people. I understand, like, hey, they bring sample bottles, like, oh man, I'd love to try this another time, and you like take 1 or 2 samples home, but you're not taking a 1 ounce or 2 ounce sample bottle. Like, you should take a ½ ounce. I'm sorry. But yeah, if there's loads to try, pour light and sample loads last the night. Yeah, no, completely agree. That's where I'd rather, like, you have access to. I have over 300 something bottles that are on the shelves. I think it's like 300 something. Got 300 bottles to choose from. If it's not open, if you ask me and say, hey man, I always want to try that. Depending on the bottle, what it is, like if you ask me to open my Balvenie 40 on a random Tuesday night, not gonna happen, bud. I'm sorry. If it's like a special night, we're cracking this thing open. But if you say, hey, I never had, yeah, I got Frey Ranch single barrel right there. Fantastic. I haven't. It's not open. If someone says, hey, I never had a Frey Ranch single barrel, I say, man, I've always wanted to try one. I'd be like, you know what? Crack this bad boy open. Let's enjoy it. Let's get some pours out. And then, yeah, completely agree. And then you get towards the end of the night and you want to pour some samples for later because you've got pretty toasted and you're not having your palate anymore and you're kind of getting to the point where you're like, hey, I should probably slow down a bit. I'm going to take an Uber tonight. Completely agree about bringing sample bottles for that if you want to enjoy it later. But at the end of the night, your last pour of the night shouldn't be a 2 ounce pour of Pappy or something like that. Like, that irks me a lot sometimes. But yeah. All right, so let me pull out something here. This is one of the things that I do when I go to bottle shares. So this is probably one of my favorite bottlings I've ever had in my life. Really enjoy this. I'm gonna pour some of this actually tonight. Why not? Okay. All right. So this is Cat's Eye Atanium Light Whiskey. This is 60.3%. And this is finished in freshly dumped barrels of Topping Goliath award-winning Kentucky Brunch Brand Stout. Okay. This bottle on secondaries are in the, I seem to go for 18, I think it was like $18.50 and maybe like $2,200. When I go to bottle shares, I don't pull this thing out at the beginning of the night. I may bring a bottle with me, pour a little couple somethings and put it away for people. I normally show up early for these things and I pour for the host, may pour for a few people. I put this thing away because I cherish this thing because I know people will pour some big pours. I've shared this thing a lot with people. So or we go to the event, we've been at the event, and then let's just say, come to end tonight, a lot of people have left, and a lot of people are enjoying, and now we're really bringing it up. I'll go to the car, pull this out, and be like, hey, man, have you had this before? And let me tell you, no one's had this before. I blew everyone's minds because people have seen this on secondary, where these go for a good chunk. This is what, if I brought this out, that's kind of as much as I'm pouring. Like, man, look at those legs. Like, literally, that's a ring. It's sitting, like, literally, look at that. Like, they're not even coming down yet. I'm going to watch that. I want to watch that come down. But I have an Untamed Light Whiskey finishing. Wonderful bottle. Yeah, no. Like these, this one, this was the very first one they ever released. And then this one was, I think, secondary, the one I saw was like 1,800 and like 50 cents a bottles. Like, or 850, or 800, like, or not 1,850, $1,850 for that bottle. They've released a couple more, but this is a 14-year, and this was only, wow. Wait, this is the last bottle. I didn't realize that. So this is 195 of 195 bottles. Was it KBS or KBBS? Yeah, this is Kentucky Brunch brand stout, KBBS. Fantastic stuff. Like the bottle of beer that the bottles of beer alone go for crazy numbers. I think we pull this out at the end tonight for people. That's something if they like stuff, they know what they're talking about, I'll pour them some of this. This isn't something like, hey, no one's ever had anything before and they're just getting the whiskey. I'm not pouring this. I'm sorry. I haven't had this in a while, man. This is... Oh. My lips are tingling. The sensation, the flavor, the richness, the oils. It's good. I should have left the bottle up here, but that's what I expect pours to be when you pull out something very fancy. I understand if you all want to pour big and enjoy and share things. I completely understand. I'm done with my rant. I don't want to continue on with that conversation. Took a lot out of me, to be honest. So I feel... Sorry. I feel that that's how I perceive, and yeah, KBBS, fantastic. I feel that people should be more respectful when they pour stuff, and I feel it's kind of like a slap in the face. I pull out something, and I pull out like a $200 bottle, and you're just like, I wouldn't and don't touch anyone's unopened bottles. Yeah, but if it's something that I have and they never tried it, and it depends on what it is, I'll crack it open for them. Typically, I'll crack it open. Like, I'm not afraid to say, man, let's enjoy something. Someone's like, man, I never had the Ardbeg. Well, I have it here. I don't plan on making a video about it because it's old and no one's ever going to get their hands on it, so it's not any beneficial. And to do a cork pop video when it first came out or whatever. So I'm just like, you know what? We're cracking open Ardbeg Nova from 2018 or 2018 or whenever it was released. I never had it. And I'm like, if they say, man, I never had that. Oh man, you got this. That's what happened. Was someone was like, oh man, you got a Mitcher's 10-year rye single barrel? Yes, I do, bud. Yes, I do. So I was like, dude, like, let's crack it open. I want you to enjoy this moment. Did. Pour that 2 ounce pour, and same conversation happens. And I don't want to be a broken record. I just feel some people will go out there, take advantage, and pour those things. Or they go to like a big bottle share where there's like 30, 40 bottles, and they're out there with 15 sample bottles, pouring Russell Reserve 11 year. Like, I'm like, dude, like, come on. And I see it, I'm just like, this isn't right. I don't know. That's just me. I understand if you want to pour a little bit to have for down the road or whatever. Completely agree. But don't show up to a bottle share. Someone pulls out something really cool or something very hard to get, and you pull out sample bottles, and you poured yourself a good ounce and a half, and then you pour another ounce and a half or 2 ounce sample bottle full of whiskey. Now you just took 4 ounces of that bottle. And I believe there's only 22 ounces in a bottle, right? Hold on. I gotta double check. I think it's 20. It's 22 ounces, right? How many ounces are in 750? 25.4. Literally, if you pour 5 ounces, you took a fifth of that bottle. Done with that conversation. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm saying. Seen it happen. I've had it happen to me, but they didn't pour the sample bottles, but he poured like 2 ounces. I'm like, dude, like, come on. Like, we got plenty of bottles downstairs for you to enjoy. That's me. Like, I don't mind sharing. I'd rather pour 15 people, total of like 3 or 4, maybe 5 ounces of whiskey total. Be happy to do that. However, if I walk over and you pour 2 ounces to yourself and it's like, really, dude? I don't know. All right, guys. I'm done ranting about that. What do you guys have in your glass? What are you guys enjoying? I want to hear what you guys got going on. I want to hear what's in your glass. What you guys enjoying? I don't want to talk about that topic anymore because I feel like I'm getting turned into a broken record. Hopefully you guys understand. Because that's one of the reasons why I haven't had a bottle share in a long time. Because of that reason. So we got a Rinse Repeal Reserve 5. I really like that. That's a good pour. I don't have it myself. There's certain stuff like I felt that bottle was way overhyped. It's good. It showed up. People went crazy over it, and it disappeared. People said, "Oh, you should buy that." Liquor store owners like, "Man, you should get that." And I'm like, I don't follow hype. I buy what I want. I got things that yes, I want to buy that are hyped. However, falls in my lap, I buy it. But yes. Well, you are broken. I'm drinking Japanese rum. Like you did my stream break, or are you just saying I'm just a broken record that keeps talking about the same thing over and over again? Because I hope you understand, Marshall. Like you understand when you go to the La Quinta party, you don't go find the craziest bottle ever and you go pour 2 ounces. You don't do that. I mean, you can, but if I was in charge of the whole thing, I'll kick you out. My 2 cents. And I feel like I should make rules. Say, hey man, pour enough so you can share with everyone there. Don't pour some for you to enjoy yourself. Well, I want you to pour some so you can enjoy yourself. But you know what I mean. They're just all around broken. Yeah, I know. Man, you're broken too. But I hope you guys understand where I'm going with that. And I don't seem like an a-hole for saying it like that. But I feel like there's some people that have been a-holes to people and just taking advantage of people. And I feel like that's right. That's my 2 cents. That's where I settle out on things because I feel it is much better to share, allow people to explore things versus you pouring one big giant. I don't know. I feel like you can pour eight people like a quarter ounce, and I'd rather pour 8 people quarter ounce pours versus one person pouring 2 ounces. I'm doing the same thing over again, having the same conversation. I need to get out of this rut and just tell you guys. But yeah, a cup of hot chocolate. It is 4:51. Where are you at? AM or PM? 4:51. So you're not in Hawaii or Alaska. Or are you? I know Alaska, Hawaii is only 3 hour difference from me, so that'd be 5:51. Wait, where are you? Cool Running. Where do you live? Cooler Running, or yeah, I say Cool Running, Cooler Running. But where do you live? I remember you. I thought you were in the U.S. No, because Hawaii is a 3 hour difference, so that's that'd be 5:52 now. Hawaii, yeah. Alaska is at most 2 to 3 hours, depending on if you're all the way up there, but that's right count. Northern Iron. Where's Northern Iron? Is it somewhere I don't know? Well, I type in Northern Iron, North Ireland National Football League. So you're in North Ireland? What time's in Ireland? Are you in Ireland? Is it like 4? Hold on. All right. To be honest, I'm not sure if I could properly taste a whiskey with a quarter ounce. I feel at least would be double that. Might just be me. No, if you need more than a quarter ounce, but I'm just meaning like, hey, if I'm gonna pull out like something really fancy and stuff like that, and really, but the problem is, I know people will go and pour a big pour. Yeah, they chug the thing, and I'm like, I'll pour someone an ounce of whiskey and they just shoot it, and I'm like, fuck. Like, if you need more, completely understand. Dude, it's you're in Northern Ireland. Oh, got it, man. Like, oh man, I should pour some Irish for you. But yeah, no, if you need more to explore, like 100% agree with that. I just mean more of people that come out and they pour this giant pour and they'll sit there and drink it for like they'll either like shoot it, drink it fast. Like I'm more of like, hey man, I got this pour. Go and smell it. Ready to dissect it. Take a little bit. Swish in the mouth. Like I can taste on this much. Like because I don't need much to be honest. But yeah. But like if you need more than a quarter ounce, completely agree. If you need a half ounce or more, like I only know how, like whatever that is. I don't know. I completely understand if you need more to be able to explore and try something and really get into it. But if you got 30, 40 whiskeys to try, are you going to pour more than that? I don't know. But if you need more than a quarter ounce, completely agree. Like whatever you need to be able to try something, completely understand. Because then you're going to be like, I would, like, I'm the guy that would pour like an eighth of an ounce or quarter of an ounce, just enough so I get that taste, get that smell, get a couple little tiny little bits in my mouth. That's what I need. Yeah, I don't need much. That's just me. But I feel I know I keep talking about the same topic. I wanted to move on, but um I feel I can get on there. But if you need a half ounce, completely pour that half ounce. Enjoy it, explore it, do what you need to do to be able to taste the whiskey, be able to enjoy the whiskey, and do everything you need to do by pouring that half ounce. Like I say, I'm just taking an arbitrary number of how much you need. If you need a half ounce to enjoy it, I'll pour you a half ounce. Like I don't mind. But I'm just thinking about the people that take advantage where they do pour like 2 ounces. That's where I'm like, dude, if you really need 2 ounces to try the whiskey and then you shoot it or you have a little bit, they drink a little bit, and then they go and they chug like the last ounce and a half. I'm like, dude, you're drinking for the wrong reason and you shouldn't be around my room. I don't know. But if you need a half ounce, I just picked a number around quarter ounce. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Like if you need like a half ounce or maybe an ounce to really get into a whiskey, completely agree. Like I'm not going to knock you for that to be able to sit there, really dissect it, let it sit for a little bit, let it get some more. But I keep going back to it. Wrong goal. What I'm trying to drive home is when you have access to 30 bottles and then you do that to the nicest bottle that's there and you pour like 2 ounces. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, cool running. Yeah, I really appreciate you being all the way from Ireland right now, man. What, like, are you working right now? Like, are you typically up at this time, or did you just join in because we are, was on live? Is that why you're here? Because I really appreciate that. Fantastic. But yeah, no, hopefully you guys understand my rant. I'm not trying to make anyone mad or trying to put someone down for pouring a lot of stuff. But yes. But if I do attend a tasting to say 30 bottles, but have interest in say the top 8, is it bad manners to try a small amount of the best, ignoring the others I might already own? No, completely agree. If like, because I go to a bottle share and they do have like a spread of like 30 bottles, and I've had that where there's like 3 or 4 bottles I haven't had. Go ahead, pour some, pour an ounce or whatever. If you're gonna sit there and enjoy that and really dissect it, completely agree. Go ahead and do that. That's not bad manners. Bad manners is you walk in, I crack open the bottle, you pour 2 ounces, you drink a little bit for about like 20 minutes, and then you shoot the last little bit, like an ounce and a half. I feel like that's bad manners. But if you do pick up those top 8 bottles, and when I typically bring a bottle to a bottle share, I don't plan to bring that bottle home. I hope they kill the bottle that night. Unless it's like a small group, I don't plan on killing something. That's why sometimes I bring some stuff at the end. If there's like 30, 40 people in there, I know it will get killed. But I just feel like, yes, if you want to have ounce and like an ounce pour or whatever of those 8, I don't know if you can drink more than 8 ounces in a night. If you can and be okay, more power to you. But I feel like if you do like ignore like the other 22 bottles, completely agree. If you already have them and everything and you do pour a nice good pour, hey, go right ahead. Completely agree with you. Because I do the same thing. But I like to try everything I haven't had or have in my collection. And I do have a big collection, so I have access to a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that you have bad manners if you do miss those 8. Like, that's not the one I'm trying to say. Is if you haven't had any of those 30 bottles and then you go pour a bunch of stuff and you go pour sample bottles of all of it, yeah, that's when I have a problem. But if you go to the stuff I haven't had, and you completely agree. Half ounce of the 8, not planning on passing out. Yeah, no, like half ounce. Yeah, go right ahead. Completely agree with that. Like if someone goes to a bottle share and they pour a half ounce or just under an ounce or an ounce maybe per bottle, hey, You're enjoying the whiskey. Don't mind. But I'm just saying, hey, if you show up and you pour 2 ounces of the some like a $200 or $300 bottle that someone just cracked open for you to try, that's when I have a problem. Hopefully, you guys understand where I'm coming with that, because I have people with that mentality that I met, and if I pour out a bottle of Pappy, you think everyone's gonna like? There's like 15 of us there, and then I crack it open and I pour everyone 1.5 ounces. It must be a very good party for me to do that. A very special evening. Trust me, that would not happen with everyone sitting there. All right. That's just me. My 2 cents. Hey, if you go there, yeah, there's, what you say, 8 bottles you want to have tried, or 8 bottles you want to try, and you pour yourself 1 ounce of them, go right ahead. More power to you. You know the bottle, you've had the stuff that's already out there, or you're like, hey, I don't like that. It's like they got scotch out there and you're not a scotch fan. Completely forget the scotch. Go move over. I may suggest someone say, hey, go try some of the scotch. You may find something here you may like. That's my 2 cents. Because if someone says they don't like scotch, I'm like, here, bud, I got some stuff you can try. That's where I'm at. But that's when you come over to my room and everything. But there's 8 bottles you really wanted to try, and there's other stuff that you've already had or you have in your collection or whatnot. Completely agree. Not knocking you for it. Just feel that people can give enough so that people can enjoy. I feel like 2 ounces is a little too much to enjoy. I don't know. I may be 100% wrong, but yeah. If you need a half ounce, Steve, if you need half ounce, completely agree. Go right ahead. Sorry, because of the current inflation rate, your 2 cents are only worth 0.005 cents. Yeah, no. Marshall, I'm going to text you in a minute. I want to see what your thoughts about my rant. Do I feel like was I trying to present it in the right way, whatnot, or was I too much of an a-hole about it? I don't know. We'll chat about it and share your content. But we are wrapping up here, guys. I just want to make sure I end that on a good note. Steve, hopefully you don't think I am the guy who hasn't found a Scotch or Irish I like. Help me out, dude. Like there are some stuff out here that I would love to pour for you, man. Some good stuff out here. I would give you the whole tour, the whole island of Scotland, and try to find something you may like. If you haven't had peated, and I hopefully understand that. But yes, I'm the guy that would pour every single bottle of Scotch I have in here, trying to find something you like. And that's the kind of guy I am. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll pour you, and if you pour it out, if you don't like it, I'll pour it into another Glencairn and save it for later. It's high enough proof. I'll drink it again. Green Spot Barn. Yeah. But yes, hope you guys understand where I'm trying to go with this. I didn't want to make anyone mad or tick anyone off by saying the stuff I said. Hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. But Steve, hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. Because if you come into my house and you've had every bottle and there's like 8 bottles you've wanted to try, I'm like, you know what? If it's closed, I'll open it for you and let you try it. It depends, like if it's depending on what it is. Because I do got bottles I plan on opening when I get older or whatever. But if it's opened and you say, hey man, I never had that. There's a good chance I'll probably open it up for you. But yes. So thanks again for watching, guys. I'm gonna head out now. And yeah. I really appreciate you guys to hang out with me. And we've had a pretty steady stream here with about like 8 to 7 people in here. Since no feelings hurt. Appreciate discussion. Yeah, no, like I get it when you want to come and you want to have one pour. Completely get it. But when you come here to try like 30 different stuff that I know that no one's had, and you're pouring stuff 2 ounces, that's where I have an issue. Or someone's generosity and everything kind of gets advantage of. But that's just me discussing. Hopefully people understand. But yeah, no, man, if you come over to my house and we have a bottle share and there's 30 bottles out here, and then There's only 8 bottles you want to try. Go ahead and pour that half ounce. Like, I don't care. Like, if someone pours a half ounce out of the 30 bottles, don't matter. But it's when they start pouring 2 ounces of like the big stuff. That's where I'm kind of like, ah. I have an open part to what I own at my house, 300 plus bottles. Trying anything that you're interested in. Yeah, no, I completely agree about that. I just feel like when I crack open like a really cool bottle for someone and they kind of take advantage. That's just me. Or and when they have access to all these other bottles they haven't had. I don't know. That's just me. Hopefully I didn't hurt anyone's else feelings for anyone that's watching this recording afterwards or kind of dipped out because I went from about 9 to now 6. So thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. May the best day ever past. May the worst day of future. Cheers, guys.